All right, what is going on, guys? Fabulous back again, and let's just get right into it, shall we? Now we have this banner coming out soon, the Brave Battle Selection. I'm not gonna even entertain the idea that you guys should summon in this banner. Honestly, I would recommend doing the first step and then being like kind of one and done. One 5-star character guaranteed at certain steps, 5 and 10. I don't think this is worth 10. I don't think this is worth 5 steps simply because at the end of this month we should be getting some hype banner. Caleb specifically said that we have a Bankai live stream sometime on the 27th or the 28th. Not really sure with the whole JST conversion to New York thing, but I do believe that there is some merit for this banner, and that is going to be the Toshiro, Sajin, and Kaname Beyond Bankai banner. And you'll see here that this is going to be a 25-step banner. Honestly, when it comes to these banners, I always recommend doing like 5 steps if you're missing most of these characters. And since they kind of are using a lot of older Can For Your Own Worlds characters and we have a lot of newer players, it might be worth your time to look into. That being said, there are a lot of characters, in my opinion, that are completely useless or at the very least have fallen off from the meta so much that even though they are still quote unquote good characters, they're not necessary in almost any content in the game. Uh, I feel like Shuhei's one of these characters where he's still a really cool character to have, and I understand why people would want him in their collection. And it's not like he's unplayable; he's just old. Like I mean, like it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, like characters age, right? Like if we pull up exactly when this banner came out, they came out with Aura, so I'll bring in Confirm World. Aura's first banner. August 31st, 2020. Like these characters are literally almost 3 years old. So you can imagine like how badly they've been power crept. And this game is one of those. This game isn't like Epic 7 where characters age like fine wine and then KLab buffs them and then nerfs the newer, more OP characters. No, that doesn't happen in this game. So we have Frenzy, Berserker 20%. Like that's pretty much all we have in terms of damage. He doesn't have increased status element chance. It's not like he's a bad character. It's just he has very low multipliers when it comes to strong attacks when you compare to anyone that has like Frenzy +2 or Frenzy +1 and then Berserker 60% and Spiritual Pressure boost 80%. Like it's just it is what it is, right? That being said, his Soul Bomb is still one of the strongest in the game, with the debuff mechanic causing a minus 80% defense reduction, which is essentially just 80% more damage, because most enemies in this game actually don't have defense unless we are specifically talking about Guild Quest. And this has a obviously 2000 radius, but his soul bomb is pretty much the bread and butter of this character. He has a lunge first strong attack, full screen third strong attack. Second strong attack is going to be the vacuum explosion, 750 750. Don't particularly like this for epic race because it does lock you into place, but seeing as his special move pretty much guarantees you to like one shot for a full phase, this character's not a bad. I think this character's pretty good. I'm not gonna say he's great because I feel like standards for that has gone up, but I mean it is what it is. Next we have Aura. Aura is probably one of the worst characters to ever be released in this entire game. Now it's not like she's a horrible character. She's just a bad character. Oh my god. She got Berserker 20%, Frenzy. She got Guard Break. And that's pretty much all she got. Her first strong attack is an 18% mag for strong attack. Second strong attack is a crawling vortex. So it's not homing, it's a crawler. And then on top of that, this character got Havoc with a 510 radius second strong attack. It's one of the worst in the game. Full screen third strong attack. Just bad first strong attack, bad second strong attack. Not yummy, dummy, thick thighs, but that's about it. Next, we have Hikone, probably one of my favorite characters to be released back then, by like a long shot, just because his kit is, in my opinion, still pretty good. I think that you can get a lot of use of this character as long as you're going up against tech attribute Soul Reapers. You see here increased status element chance against the tech Soul Reapers, 10%. So he does have that increased status element chance, and I think that's kind of what saves him. He still has the Frenzy Berserker 20%, so relatively low multipliers. But since he does have the increased status element chance, I think he gets away with it even to this day, should you actually work on this character. I'm not saying summon for this character. I'm saying this character is still pretty damn good. I'm not going to say great, right? Because all these characters are over 3 years old. And I'm not going to gaslight y'all into thinking, yeah, this is, God's next Adam and Eve, right? So we have Berserker 20%, Frenzy, Havoc 20%, Sprinter +2, You could give him long stride along with full stam 25%. He has weaken on all of his attacks, and then he has the 3000 length beam. He has the vacuum pushback, second strong attack. If you're familiar with Beyond Bankai Retsu as well as Spirit Society Ichigo, not a horrible for a second strong attack. Definitely could be better, but I mean, honestly, I personally like this one quite a bit. And then his third strong attack is the 1170. So if you've played with Retsu and you've used her third strong attack and you're like, yeah, I want some more of this in my life, then at the very least you can run this character and you have the beam into, and then you also have the same third strong attack. So like the playstyle is relatively similar. The only difference is she's gonna one shot and this guy's gonna two shot in most content in the game. All right, next we have Tsukishima. Honestly, he's kind of fallen off a bit. He has boost. He doesn't have booster, which yeah, and he doesn't have Pierce Brave Battle invincibility, which I think is the reason that he's kind of, in my opinion, not really worth running in Brave Battles unless you really need a booster. Next, we'd have... There we go. Next, we have the next banner, which is like the Tsukishima, Ginjo, as well as Mayuri. I don't really feel like this Ginjo aged all that well. He has Flurry +1, follow-up, so he's not a bad auto character. I think he's actually probably one of the better ranged NAD characters, normal attack damage characters. Weaken defense on his Soul Bomb, so his special move is still pretty useful. Berserker 50%, Bruiser 40%. Like Bruiser 40, Flurry, no status ailments. Yeah, we don't have innate skills with them. Sorry, I had to cough, so I have to mute real quick. Mayuri, Berserker 20%, Havoc, Frenzy +1. This character was actually pretty good for his time. Like, his only real issue is that he had a Spot Killer, and you're only really going to use this character in Senkaimon stages. Revive mechanic on his special. He does have Droplet Drop. What was that? Droplet Drop. Speed Droplet Drop 17%. Nowadays, characters are getting 30% instead of that low 17%, like normally now. But this character has the 3000 length beam, standard full screen, and then the 960 AoE distance second strong attack. So he does have a very good kit, right? He has some very, very good range on his first and second. And should you find yourself in the middle of like a bunch of enemies, his third strong attack is going to be great in a pinch. I like this character. I wish I got him sooner, but I feel like that killer kind of holds him back, and he doesn't have increased status element chance. He has only a Berserker 20% Frenzy, and even though he does have Weaken, you're not really going to use his Soul Bomb all that much, but at the very least, you do have, I guess, the Revive mechanic. I really do feel like all these, the older characters in this banner have just kind of fallen off to a very high extent. I really do like the Hikone. I think Hikone is probably the only character that I would be like, oh, you want to work on him? Yeah, yeah, go for it. Like, yeah, I think he's actually worth it. Going into this Sajin, he was like the failed reject of January. This character got Ignore Brave Battle Invincibility, but he didn't get Invincibility. So 6th Anniversary Aizen literally clapped this dog's cheeks so bad that this dog had to wear a helmet, bro. It was really bad. He has a no affiliation killer, which was great for Yuha, and he has a human killer, which is great for... who was a human PvP unit? I think it was Chad. Yeah, Chad. So we have Brave Battles only, first 10 seconds, Flurry +1. So we have Flurry +3 in the first 10 seconds. Prevent Last Ditch, decrease damage taken 50%. Bruiser 20%, Debilitator +5 seconds. Guard Break, Poise. So when it comes to PvE content, this character is immune to 2 status elements. We have Sprinter, we have Bruiser, Flurry +2, and then Guard Break. No Marauder here, but I honestly think that was fine. He has the decreased damage taken and poise just like the Yamamoto does for PvE content. But this character is mainly a Brave Battle unit, and I feel like he's going to be good against every single unit that has invincibility, but be very careful about taking him into SP units. He will get one-shotted, like, without mercy. Next, we do have a Kaname. We have Heart Attribute character, movement speed 30%. I actually really love this character. I don't think he plays all that well, just because his first strong attack is kind of doo-doo. But at the very least, like, this character is useful when it comes to farming, right? Going into the farming skills alone, let's bring it up here. Going into the farming skills, we have Mind Droplet Drop 30%, Mind Link Stop Potions +5, Super Mind Link Stop Potions +5, Then we have guard break and hidden enemies all together. So you're not going to be bringing him into extreme co-op because he doesn't have a sharpshooter. But guard break hidden enemies is really nice because you don't have to sacrifice a slot of your accessory slots to the Zeta Borutan, right? So you don't have to waste a slot for hidden enemies. We have Frenzy +2, which means that you're going to be popping off your drain relatively often. I wish you had increased status element chance. I feel like that would have not saved the character, but like I feel like that would have made the character kind of OP despite having a lackluster strong attack kit, which I'll talk about in a second. And this character also has hard character movement speed plus 30%, which means that this character autos very, very fast. Have a 20% heart attribute character strong attack damage plus 20% to your whole party, regardless of their affiliation, is awesome. Freeze immunity, sprinter +1, and bruiser 20% with debilitator +2 seconds. Devastation 40%, not really all that special here. It's kind of standard. My issue with this character is sometimes in IT, where this character is supposed to shine, since he does have increased super potions, the enemies can sometimes be immune to drain. And when they're immune to drain, he can't really do anything. Like, he doesn't have weaken to fall back on, and then he's literally just a regular character without any status elements. And this character has an 18% mag for strong attack, which he's relying on the strong attack to cause drain. So if you can't proc a status element, get fucked, nerd. Like, that really sucks, dude. And then his second strong attack is going to be the 960 AoE distant with the 630 homing vortex, just like 5th anniversary Byakuya. Vortex of 75 hits thanks to the frenzy +2. Very, very high likelihood of proccing drain if the enemies aren't immune to it. So I love this character as long as the enemies don't have immunity to drain, which does happen on occasion for IT in particular. Third strong attack, standard full screen third strong attack. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with this character. In content like Epic Raids, I feel like this character does really, really well because you don't really have to flash step. You can literally just move your character thanks to the movement speed buff. And you have the droplet drop 30% along with the along with the regular potion drop. And last but not least, probably the main character that people are going to be summoning on this banner for. I don't think this character is worth it. I think that this character is OP. He deals massive dick. I think that this dude claps cheeks harder than Lizzo. But like my problem with this character isn't even that he's a bad character. It's just he doesn't really have any farming potential. So unless you're playing the character just to have fun, like not really for farming purposes or for GQ. I think that this character in GQ does very, very well because of the bombardment. But let's just talk about this character really, really, really quickly, right? He's a tech character. We have Soul Reaper as well as a Squad Zero killer, which I think that's still really interesting. So for GQ, I think that that's very good. And like I said, for GQ in particular, I think this character is a beast. I think he is worth summoning for if you need that. But when it comes to spending your hard work in orbs, you kind of want the character to work for you. I do believe that this banner is worth 5 steps if you don't have any of these banner characters. Like, even though I don't think I don't think Sajin was, the next answer to the Impossible Burger with all the soybean and all that crap put into it. And I think that Kaname is good. I think like having a Kaname and having a Pocket Toshiro are pretty damn good. And Sajin, if you even remotely do brave battles, can be useful. Going into his innate skills, we have okay, let's just talk about the damage first, right? So going into the damage, we have Frenzy +1, status elements pressure boost 80%. We have damage inflicted at full stam 20% built in, which is going to go up to 45% when you get him to T15. And then he has full stamina only increased strong attack damage of 40%, which stacks multiplicative with his Berserker 40%. So keep in mind that his Berserker 40% and this increased strong attack damage 40% are not the same thing. And the reason that's important is because that like when you have your 40% multiplier, this isn't getting added, it's getting multiplied in again. So this together, this with the Berserker 40%, is like having a 96% increased strong attack damage when it's together. So you just need to keep your full stam, which is I guess this character doesn't really have a way to heal himself after, aside from his gauge, which his gauge, I believe, I'll just pull it up. I believe he gets plus 100% Berserker, but I want to confirm because if he doesn't, I feel like that's a big multiplier. Yeah, here it is. So his gauge effect, he gets decreased damage taken 50%, and then he also gets Berserker 100%, which scales separate from the Berserker and scales separate from this increased strong attack damage. So when he's under gauge, he literally just gets ×2 damage. That's it. This character hits hard. Sprinter +2, so you could give him long stride or weakened defense since he has bombardment. Then you have the Berserker 40%, which will go up to like 60% with the Lieutenant's badge. Debilitator +5 seconds for the freeze. Havoc 20%, increased range of your strong attacks by 20%. And then Marauder. I love this character. I think that he's a freaking beast in all content. Just keep in mind that you're not going to use him all that much. You're going to use him in Senkaima. You're going to use him in Guild Quest. You're going to use him maybe to farm the point event. But that's about it. Like, you're not going to bring him into Epic Raids. You're not going to bring him into IZ. You're not going to bring him into IT. You're not going to bring him into Droplet Zone when you're farming, unless you're hosting. If you're hosting, then I could see you being like, all right, you know what? Let's open this lobby. I'll carry. Let's do this. Like, if you don't have like a IT potion unit like Uryu, or who are the tech characters that we could use? We have Uryu. We have Christmas Momo. I still think Christmas Momo is really, really strong for epic grades because she just gives you potions and you're pretty much guaranteed not to die. So I don't. It's not like I said. I'm not calling this Toshiro bad. I'm just saying be very careful with chasing these characters. I think that this banner is 100% worth the 5 steps. If you're missing 3 of these, if you have over like 4,000 orbs, consider spending 5 steps if you're missing either of these. That also being said, be very careful about summoning for Sajin. I don't think he's worth it at this stage. I don't know if K-Lab's going to come out with more Beyond Bankai characters in the future. I think that we're still due for a Renji, a Rukia, and a Kaku. Like pretty much the lieutenants. I'd love to see like what they could do with the Rangaku. We could also get like Beyond Fullbring characters and then end up having like characters like Chad or Hime, Raruka, Ginjo, Tsukishima. I'd love to see what they do with the Giriko. That's pretty much that. Like, when it comes to this banner, I'd say just be very cautious. Don't summon on this one. I'd say 1 step on this. Just because, like, again, is Okiora and Tensa are nice, but keep in mind these characters are premium pool. Like, the good characters that they're featuring are premium pool. They have Speed, Christmas Momo, Heart, Machine Society, Lolly. Like, it's so bad. It's just a bad banner. And then you have this, which is I think is pretty good, but at most I would say 6 steps. I would recommend 5 steps just to roll the dice. 1 step if you're missing. I'd do 1 step. If you don't have the Toshiro 5/5 or Kaname 5/5, I'd say toss the first step 100% of the time. 5 steps really depends on your account and what you have access to. Like, if you have renewed Ichigo, I don't really think you need this character, even though he is badass. It's Toshiro, right? It's Beyond Bankai Toshiro, great. Dude, his art. And you also have the penis special, right? But I'm gonna leave it at that. And for those that have him and use his special, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.